Welcome, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of Keeping It Real, as in Keeping It Real Estate, with the one person who really knows what's going on in that world, Rosanne Nitti. Hey, Rosanne.
Hey, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. You're so soft and you got a squeaky voice here today.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the wind, but I'm sure I'll get louder as the day goes on.
Well,
right?
you're always so soft-spoken, and yet you know everybody. Like today's guest, who would know that you know her?
I am thrilled today to have Lisa Bartlett, Orange County Supervisor, with us. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
I met Lisa a few years ago when she was mayor of Dana Point. We have some mutual friends, and I did a little photography for her when she was running for office, and yay, she's in office. And Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you've lived in Southern Cal for over 20 years, but tell us a little bit about your personal life.
Well, I've pretty much lived in Orange County all my life, and I've lived in Dana Point now for the past 30 years, so that's where I call home.
Yay.
Love South Orange County, and that's one reason why I ran for the Dana Point City Council and then elected to the Board of Supervisors in 2014, and I just got reelected. I was one of two county officials that ran unopposed, so I was very fortunate.
I saw that, and it was grateful. I go, well, of course I'm voting for Lisa. And then I said, oh, she's unopposed. Yay, because we love working with you. I know you do so many things for the community, the job fairs, the passport days, the pet days, the senior summit. I'm really interested to hear a little bit about what your passions are and what things really drive you at the Orange County Board of Supervisors. I know one of the key things is the quality of life for South County residents. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, quality of life is important to all of us. And when you talk about South Orange County, the median income is very high, but the housing affordability is also a factor. And
right.
We need more affordable housing everywhere. It's just one of our challenges here in the county. We've got 3.5 million people packed into less than 800 square miles. So
it's crazy.
We don't have the vacant space that other counties have to build out more housing.
What do you think will happen? I know that Paul and I were talking, and we had an article come by our desk last week in regards to what we will do in South County. Do you think we'll start to build up and we'll be this big metropolis, or will we use more resources towards our hills and valleys that have left? What do you think will happen when we run out of land?
Well, we still have some vacant land. And so that's fortunate.
Yes.
And we have new development projects, of course, in the pipeline, 14,000 homes coming online in Rancho Mission Viejo, for instance.
Right.
But I think you're going to see a lot of reuse of properties. So properties that have the older homes, old motels, those are going to be scraped, and you're going to see new development come into play, because we have to basically reuse what is currently existing in order for us to build out more housing stock.
Yeah, I was noticing that just on my way here, coming through parts of Costa Mesa, and I thought, my goodness, how long have those homes been there, and, just the upkeep and whatnot. And I know affordability is just a huge thing in our area. I also, living in Laguna Beach, as you know, we have a lot of homelessness, and I know that homelessness has been a big issue in Orange County just recently. What are you guys doing in the county to help with the homelessness? I know you're doing a lot.
The county is actually doing quite a bit. We have about 6,000 homeless from our last point in time count, which is a snapshot once a year. Mm-hmm. And about half of that, about 3,000, are unsheltered. So they're not in any kind of a shelter, whether it be a temporary situation like living in a car or at someone's home. These are people that are out on the street and what we call the chronic homeless. The county is building out what we call the system of care, which is really important. So in building out the system of care, we're identifying who all the homeless are in the county, getting them into our system through the 211 OC coordinated entry system, and then input into our homeless management information system, and then providing them the necessary services that they need to really get the best chance of getting back on their feet. So providing whether it's transitional shelter or emergency shelter, and then eventually permanent supportive housing with wraparound services. But we want to connect everyone to services because that's going to help get them back on their feet the quickest.
I think that's important. Yes, I think that's...
And stable housing is important, too.
Absolutely. Are you finding that most of the people that are homeless, I mean, I love their stories. Everyone has a story. Everyone, I know in Orange County personally that some people are maybe 3 months away from being homeless, even when they're working, because of the affordability. Are you finding some of those people just aren't willing to go through the system and they're reluctant or untrusting?
So it's really important for them to get assessed by our county officials and healthcare and start to get into the system of care so that we can treat the mental illness, treat the behavioral health issues, get them job training, and get them the medical services that they need, plus stable housing so that we can ensure that we can really help them to the best extent possible to turn their life around.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of it, too, is employers willing to give them a chance as well. It really kind of breaks my heart, too, when I'm walking through and seeing people and I just want to grab them and hug them and help them. And it's hard. It really is. And I know in Laguna Beach, we've done a lot to help them as much as we can as well. And I'm truly grateful for all that the county is doing to help with the homeless. This isn't just a county-wide epidemic. It's a nationwide epidemic, and I think each state or county taking it at their own level is really important.
It really is. There are 58 counties in the state of California, and homelessness is the number one issue in virtually every single county, whether you've got a population of 4,000 or you have a population of 4 million.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me when, kind of segueing into that, I know that you're always so gracious, and you always have an ear for the community, and you're always listening to everyone's concerns and views. And tell me, what are you finding are the most interesting constituent concerns today that affects South Orange County?
We're working on improving our regional mobility by putting in some great mobility solutions through OCTA, for instance, and through the county with La Plata. Mm-hmm. So those regional improvements are helping from the infrastructure perspective. And we have a number of projects that will be coming online. So I'm excited about some of the opportunities in South County for, again, improving regional mobility on our freeway system and our arterials as well.
That's awesome. When I was gone, I've been back in Orange County 11 years now, but I was gone for 22 years. And when I came back and saw the toll roads, I was so excited. I love the toll roads. I don't know what I would do without the toll roads. I use them every day.
Well, for a lot of people, the toll roads are an important part of their daily commuting life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And gridlock is part of the daily commuting lock, too, and getting people, I think, I'm grateful I can work out of my house. I don't have to commute, so I'm fortunate. But those that do, I know it's important for them to either find jobs closer to home or, just be able to carpool or take the trains or whatnot. What else are concerns in South Orange County? I know that one of the things that I think about is aging in place. And when we talk about real estate and getting older and stairs and different things like that, what do you think the future holds for those of us as we age in Orange County? I know in Laguna Beach it's a huge topic while we're, most of everything is built on the hillside and has stairs, so that people may not be able to stay in their homes as they age.
Right. We have an aging population throughout the county, but if you take a look at the demographics in South Orange County in the 5th District, the demographics are showing that we will have a huge aging population really coming online over the next 5 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. And we need to work on more affordable housing for seniors, work on getting access to medical services, and other things right there in South County. And then you're right, with the housing, most of the seniors do not like the multi-level homes. They like the single stories. Then again, the single-story properties in the area are very scarce. So we're looking at developments that have elevators, for instance, and making it easy access for our seniors. So with the demographics changing, we need to look at what opportunities do we have to create additional housing stock that works for our senior population and have everything with the services right in the immediate area so they don't have to travel outside of their city, for instance.
Yeah, that makes sense. In fact, I just spent it's been about 3 weeks. I moved my parents from Roland Heights to Laguna Niguel, and they had been in their home for 54 years. So it was a big move for them, lots of junk to sort through. And we found them a single family home in Laguna Niguel, and they're settling in nicely. And it's, been a little bit of a challenge, and finding that single story that was within their price range and within their neighborhood concerns was big, and we're just very, very grateful. I like to see, like in Laguna Beach, we have our Susie Q Center, which is so beneficial to our senior population to come in and have a place to go and have all those resources.
Right, and just about every city in South County has very active senior center, which is great for the older adults.
That's awesome. So tell me, what do you think about the regional mobility, like public, we're talking about transportation and public safety and that kind of stuff. Do you think that it'll get worse before it gets better, or are we kind of on track to just making it better?
Right now, we're on track to making things better. We have a number of infrastructure projects. We have a bridge project in Los Patrones that will connect to Cow Camp Road. We've now opened up the HOV lane on the I-5. It was down to San Juan Creek Road, and that's completely open past San Juan Creek, past Dana Point Harbor, and now all the way down to St. Clemente at Pico. And hopefully we'll get the HOV open all the way down to the County line.
That's awesome.
We're looking at the Ortega widening project at 9/10 of a mile pinch point there. So we still have a number of great opportunities in South County to improve.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad for what we've done already. I can see those improvements. My office used to be in San Clemente, and just driving down the 5 was horrendous. I had taken to the beach road, and then the beach road had construction, and I just couldn't win. So now that it's wide open, it makes me smile. I have a better commute, so that's a good thing. So. We're getting ready to take a break. We'll take a little 1-minute break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about some other issues. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Imagine what it would feel like to lose everything. Your job, your home, your family, your dignity. This has happened to thousands of the men, women, veterans, and young adults we serve at Working Wardrobes. What do we do to help? We provide career development services, life skills workshops, job skills training. We provide the perfect interview outfit, and we get clients placed in jobs. Call Working Wardrobes, 714-210-2460. Donate, volunteer, invest, hire.
When you use the Premier Rewards Gold Card from American Express, the rewards points can keep on multiplying. Buy 3 with triple points on airfare. Buy 2 with double points on gas and groceries. And a single point for pretty much every other dollar you spend on the card. Then, start choosing from over 1 million rewards to redeem all those points. Apply today, and the annual fee for the first year is on us. Call 1-800-AXP-GOLD or visit axpgold.com. The annual fee for the card is $175. See terms, conditions, and restrictions at axpgold.com.
All right, back to Rosanne and her guest.
We're back. Thanks for taking a break. Hi, Lisa. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, during the break, Paul and I were having a little discussion on regional housing studies, and I wondered, he was wondering, and I wonder as well, does the county do any regional housing studies at all, or is that a city-by-city basis? How do we understand what each individual city might be needing in the way of housing? I know that your region that you are over is one of the largest regions in South Orange County, and that's got to keep you busy.
It certainly does. The county, I don't believe, handles any type of regional study with regard to housing, but there are so many organizations that do that kind of work. OCBC and a lot of the universities prepare a number of housing studies throughout the year. And you're right. In South County, the median price of a home is very high. It's well into the $700,000 to $800,000.
Right. And I noticed, for instance, with me, as you know, I'm also a Sawdust Festival artist, and that criteria is you must live in Laguna Beach to be a part of the Sawdust Festival. And I've noticed a couple of artists that are children of longtime residents have had to move out of the area because they just can't afford to live here. They come in, they get married, and then they can't afford the housing. What do you think will happen in the future? I know as a real estate broker of 23 years that it's cyclic and things kind of go up and down, but we have such beautiful weather in South Orange County. It's so desirable. I really don't know if there's a foreseeable affordability in place, or what do you think?
Well, it's the old principle of economics with supply and demand. The demand far exceeds the supply, and so with scarcity and supply, prices of properties increase.
Right.
And, over the next 20 years, we're going to have about 400,000 more people in Orange County. In California, statewide, we're short about 3 million homes. In Orange County, we're short nearly almost 100,000 homes.
Wow.
So we need to figure out how we're going to be able to incentivize cities and developers to create more housing stock. The cities have the local land use authority, and so the local cities can decide on a project-by-project and parcel-by-parcel basis if they want to increase densities or increase height or give certain kinds of incentives to developers to be able to create additional housing stock on the footprint of their development project.
And do they work closely with, say, the Orange County Builders Association to get their input and do specific studies on what do we do next? Because I know this isn't just a burning question for one or two people. I think this is something everyone's thinking about.
Yes, the cities are very engaged, and I know they obtain as much information as they can to figure out how we can plan as.
Yeah, I was very impressed with what they're doing out in Rancho Mission Viejo. It's a nice little community out there. In fact, I have some friends that just bought out there. So it's nice with their dog park. They actually moved from the beach out there, and they're very happy, which is nice to hear. So
one thing Rancho Mission Viejo has done is they know that affordability in housing is a real challenge for a lot of home buyers, and so they're creating smaller units and bringing the down into the $300,000 and $400,000 range by creating these smaller units for residents to be able to afford to purchase in the area.
Which is great, and a lot of single stories as well, because we looked at some of those, which are very nice. So I love that. I love that. Just to be able, and when I work with a lot of different buyers or people that are coming into town, the reality and the sticker shock is something that people just go, oh, well, we are paying for the weather here, aren't we?
Well, we have a great environment in South County. We have, wonderful oceans and great beaches. We've got the harbor. We have a lot of amenities here that attract a lot of people who want to come and live in the area.
So unfortunately, I was out of town in May when we had our State of the City luncheon, which I love to attend at the Montage, the Chamber of Commerce hosts, and I missed that. And that usually has a panel of people that are talking about what's going on in the future and what the 5 or 10 or 20-year plans are. As far as South Orange County is concerned, what do you think it will look like in, say, 5, 10, 15, or 20 years?
From a housing perspective, I think you're going to see a lot of older structures torn down, mm-hmm. and the new housing stock that will be built will be multifamily units, smaller units perhaps, smaller yards, to be able to get more units on the development footprint. Mm-hmm. I think people are realizing, and certainly Rancho Mission Viejo has designed the development in a way that they have the smaller units with the smaller yards, but they have the pocket parks for the residents and for their animals to be able to roam.
I love
since
that.
they don't have the backyard space. So I think they're accommodating, but in a different way. And I think that's what we're going to see more of with new development in the future.
I think that makes sense, and I think it brings a sense of community as well, that people are kind of maybe going back to knowing who their neighbors are, meeting them at the dog park or some of the community, barbecue or areas, and that's a really cool thing.
Yes.
So one of the things that I know is important to you is spending our taxpayer dollars wisely. Just tell me a little bit about what that means to you.
What it means to me is government working efficiently and putting resources into areas where government can really excel. So when I got elected to office, we had a number of infrastructure projects before us over the next 2, 3 to 10 years. And the county in the past always managed the projects themselves. And what I wanted to do was to change that dynamic. So let the county do what it does best, but then let the private sector step in and really take over and finish the project where it's more cost effective, it's just more efficient, and you're going to end up with a better project in the long term. So case in point is the Dana Point Harbor Revitalization Project, which is a $300 million project. It includes new boat docks on the water side, commercial core buildings, parking structure, boat barn, and the county was supposed to take care of this project from start to finish. But I switched gears when I got elected to office, and for the harbor project, I said, we're going to let the county do what it does best, create the street improvements and bring the purple pipe for reclaimed water down into the harbor, and then stop. Let the private sector build out the harbor, and I also increased the footprint. So it's water side, it's land side, it's the hotel space, all the way down to the end of the harbor, except the Ocean Institute and the Sailing Event Center still stay with the county because those are low-cost community-serving leases. But you have the entire footprint now of the harbor in a plan that's a master plan where the private sector can come in and decide what works best to build it out. And we've just awarded a P3 contract to the design team, and they will basically build out our harbor with experiential retail, new hotels, all new waterside improvements, boat docks, boat storage, and it's going to be very exciting. And they're going to do this in a much shorter time frame than the county could do it. It'll be more cost effective, and they take the financial risk in building out the project. And the county will receive a ground lease into the Tidelands Trust. So I think it's a win-win for everyone. It also is a big boon to the local economy because this project will create really thousands of private sector jobs.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's awesome, and I can't wait to see it. I'm sure the rendering is awesome. It'll be really nice. How exciting! Will there be? How will those people who are currently in the harbor, as far as the restaurants and whatnot, how will they be affected? Will they still try to be as open for business as possible during this?
Yes, we plan to have a very extensive outreach campaign to let everyone in the community know that we're still open for business while the harbor is under renovation. So we will have a complete marketing effort with regard to getting that messaging out to the public at large and to the tourists and the business community as well. And I know that the P3 partner is very mindful of ensuring that we create a master plan and implement a plan for the new harbor without disturbing the current merchants and people that have businesses in the harbor. So we have to strike for that balance.
Yeah, it's awesome. And my parents just moving down to Laguna Niguel, they're right off Golden Lantern, and they're so thrilled. We had dinner last night in Dana Point, and we had a toast to our first dinner in Dana Point. It was really nice, and it's just nice to have my parents close to me and really just to go enjoy the harbor. It was really a fun time. So,
and another thing I'm doing is I'm connecting all of my South County cities with the trolleys like they have in Laguna Beach.
Yes.
We now have trolleys in Dana Point, San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano. Laguna Niguel is getting its trolley program online, and it's a wonderful program. OCTA pays for 90% of the program, and the cities pay the balance of the 10%. But we've got all of the trolleys connecting through the cities. So, for instance, at the Ritz-Carlton in Dana Point, you can connect with the Dana Point and the Laguna Beach trolley, and then I believe starting next year, you'll connect with the Laguna Niguel trolley there.
That's
so
awesome.
You can literally live in one city and get trolleyed around to all of the surrounding cities, never having to get into your car.
That's awesome. I like that. In fact, some days I just get on the trolley with a backpack and a camera and just go people watching. It's fun. I love that. So that's great. Really appreciate all that you do for us as the Orange County Supervisor. I know you work really hard, and I'm very grateful that you took the time out today to come on the show. And we look forward to having you on again sometime soon. And I'll see you over the summer. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me today, and look forward to the next time we can get on air and chat. I'm very passionate, as you know, about public service and public policy, always wanting to make sure that government is doing the right thing for its residents and is also running on an efficient basis. So I just want to let everyone know to sign up for my newsletter. You can sign up at Bartlett.ocgov.com, and be sure to add me on Facebook. I've always got an open door policy and would love to hear from the residents.
Fabulous. I am on your Facebook and I am on your newsletter, and I encourage everyone listening today to sign up as well. And my name's Rosanne Nitti. You can reach me at nittigroup.com, NITTI group.com. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real Estate, with the real expert, Rosanne Nitti, right here in Orange County's real community radio station, OCTalkRadio.net.